Now, in today's market analysis, we will be running over a few things very, very quickly. Now, before we get started, I would just like to state that all content posted on this channel is for educational purposes only. Now, the first pair I'd like to have a look at is NZD-JPY on the daily chart. Now, if we look back at November, we bounced off this 76.19 level and then pushed up to our 81.55 level. We then got rejected by that level and pushed back down to our reversal zone, which we then formed a head and shoulders pattern on. We were then rejected by that level and we pushed back up but failed to reach our recent high. Instead, we formed a descending trend where we bounced off our descending trend line 1, 2, 3, 4 times. On the fourth time, we struggled to make a lower low and instead went into a period of consolidation where we bounced off our support zone 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Our support zone was formed roughly around the 72.26 level. We then pushed back up, breaking our descending trend line and also breaking our reversal zone, but then stalling at the 77.69 level. We then pushed back down to our reversal zone and stalled roughly around the 76.19 level. Now, I chose to enter in at the 76.55 level, and this trade was for a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio. My stops was just below this swing low here, roughly just below this 76.19 level. Now, we are roughly around in 50 pips in profit, and my take profit was right at this level here. As we were over 50% towards my take profit, I did move my stop loss up to break even to make sure I don't encounter any losses and also preserve my gains. Now, this is a trade that I may close early depending on the news release during the week, but I will keep you guys updated on this position. Now, the next pair I would like to have a look at is EuroCAD. Now, if we look at EuroCAD, we can see we have formed a descending trend right here where we've bounced off our descending trend line 1, 2, 3, 4 times, maybe a fifth if we extend it to here. Now, if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, now this is a trade that I lost out on. Now, if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, I entered here and stop loss was right here and my take profit was right here. Now, in my opinion, one of the reasons I did lose on this trade was because my stop loss was way too tight. Now, my entry point was at the 1.5094 level with my take profit at the 1.5050 level and my stop loss at the 1.5127 level. This trade was for a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio. Now, also, I'm sure many of you know during last week, there was a lot of unstableness to do with oil, and I'm sure many of you also know the correlation between Canada and oil, as Canada is one of the world's biggest exporters of oil. Because of that, I think that's also one of the reasons I did get stopped out in this position. But the next trade I would also like to have a look at is AUD-CAD. Now, this position I didn't manage to get in on as I'm in full-time education, so I do miss a lot of opportunities. Now, if we look back around here, we did bounce off this key reversal zone 4 times as support, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, on the 5th time, we managed to break this reversal zone and push down to this level here. And we did pull back up to our reversal zone. Now, if we go down to the daily time frame, this is where I would have set my entry point at the 0.9601 level with my stop loss at the 0.9667 level and my take profit at the 0.9504 level. Now, this would have been for a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio. In addition to that, if we look at the fundamentals of why I would have taken this position, oil has just bounced off a recent sell-off, and as mentioned before, I'm sure many of you know the correlation between Canada and oil, as Canada is a massive exporter of oil. So if oil has gone up in value, it should also push the Canadian dollar up in value. Also, we have an oversold signal in our stochastic oscillator. If we look down to our 4-hour time frame also, but for now, that's it. The next pair I'd like to have a look at is Euro NZD, which is a position that I didn't manage to get in on also because I was in lesson. Now, if we look roughly around January, this was when we first touched our support zone. We also touched it around June, and we touched it around this month. This is a level that I've been watching for a long time, and here you can see where my entry, my stop loss, and my take profit would have been. Now, this is a trade that I would have won. My entry point would have been at the 1.65773 level. My stop loss would have been just below this recent low here at the 1.6485 level, and my take profit would have been at the 1.6744 level. Now, as I said, the last two positions I didn't manage to get in on. Apart from that, in regards to Brexit, the EU leaders have agreed on a Brexit deal, and now Theresa May has to attempt to get her deal through Parliament, as mentioned before. Jeremy Corbyn said that he would oppose May's deal in Parliament, and Labour's plans for Brexit would include a permanent customs union, as mentioned before in my previous video. In regards to the economic calendar, there's been no major figure releases today, but we did have a speech from the Bank of England Governor Mark Carney, as well as a speech from the European Central Bank's President Draghi. On Wednesday, we have the US quarter-on-quarter, third-quarter GDP figure releases, as well as the crude oil inventories and the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell's speech. We also have many other figure releases throughout the week. But apart from that, please like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for listening.